This is the Just Stacking Up Show. I'm your host, James Joffion, aka Joffe. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. We got Mike in the building.
What's going on?
Yes, sir. We cannot also forget about Chris. Say what up to the good people, brother.
What's going on, everybody? How y'all feeling?
Yes, indeed. Welcome. Salutations and all that. We just set our clocks. Boy, we went forward, though. Didn't we lose an hour of sleep, gentlemen?
We lost an hour of sleep.
Lost an hour. That's why I'm so tired.
That's why I'm tired too.
I just thought about that.
And I'm so tired, y'all. I'm so tired.
Yeah.
I had to get myself up a little bit early, man. That's why y'all see this little collage right here going on, showing, a little black love and everything, Just Acting Up Show. Make sure y'all follow us on all social media programs. And everything else, got, when Denzel and Halle got their Oscars, got Chadwick Boseman behind me and showing representation. Got music, Aaliyah, R.I.P., R.C. Davis. We're going to keep the show going, but you can look at the montage. It'll be changed every now and then. So don't come at me saying why your favorite stars or celebrities or whatever not on this wall. We're going to get to it. Don't mind us. So anyways, well, like I said, welcome to the Acting Up Show. We're going to get into this real quick. There hasn't been enough. Boy, there's always something going on in politics, but nothing like breaking news. It was like, for all you people that do watch us and you are Trump supporters, hey, if you're Republican, hey. But it's kind of nice having, some type of peace, even though there's no peace. There's something going on, we know, but
some common sense in office, basically.
Man, it was always something every other day. Like Trump did this and Trump did that. I know Biden done some stuff too. We know, hey man, but it's a different type of feel right now. So
Right.
Yeah.
I know one thing. It's like Biden has been living up to his campaign promises so forth.
Mm-hmm.
The George Floyd bill that got passed, right? It was that in the House. He's stimulating our pockets again,
Yeah, money reside.
Money bag Joe.
Hey,
Kamala said they want their money, Joe.
Yeah.
Get out them student loans next, Joe. Come on, Joe. Come on with it.
That's gonna be dope. I have never known any president to do that. Do student loan forgiveness. That's gonna be pretty dope. That's gonna help out a lot of people.
Yeah, I do agree. Help us out, please. Yeah, man.
I don't deal with student loans personally, but yeah, I know a lot of people that have student loans, and they need their help for sure. It's like you come out of college behind out the gate in debt. That's crazy to me.
Yeah,
Yeah, can't stand it.
Scholarships and grants.
I can't stand that mess, man. Yeah, man, but it's been kind of quiet lately. Like I said, there's always something going on, but we just have that breaking news, like what's going on now or what is it now? So yeah, but we're gonna move on next week, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get more heavy into the politics and see what's going on. Sometimes you gotta take a break from these things in politics. That's just me personally. Because there's always something going on. I gotta man, what we are debating about now, man. What is it now? So that's just me. I applaud people that are in politics like that. I mean, hey, but as for me, gotta take a break sometimes.
They didn't have a lot of resistance on the care package to come out that I didn't see anybody resisting too much about it.
My only question with that is like these big corporations, they get all this money, right? They always it's always bailing out all these big, like I said, because the fraction of the stimulus is like 1.9 billion or something like that, whatever the amount is. Only like the part that goes to us is only a small part of that bill. A lot of more of the money goes to like those big companies. I know some of it goes to unemployment, this and that and the other. Why does so much have to go to the big companies, and why can't more go to us down here, in the middle and lower classes? You know what I'm saying?
Well, they would say that, it's a job that's going back to the people, to keep people employed, like keep them with a job. So, I mean, I don't. That is a good question, but because someone once told me that they could give you more money, like a pay raise, but if they was to do that, then they would have to cut people. You know, cut your hours too.
Ooh,
Yeah.
man.
So, like they gave out $15 an hour. It's gonna balance itself out because they're gonna start cutting your hours. Because you gotta think about it, if they got all these employees is like $15 an hour, it's gonna cut into them paying more money out for these employees. So they have to balance it, you know. So you really gonna see it, but then you're not gonna see it at the same time. It's like a tug and pull. Okay, you got 15, but we're gonna cut your hours.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, gotcha.
That sucks, but you know
Yeah.
that's how it works. Capitalism.
The way it
That
was.
is finest. Man, I'll tell you what we can talk about real quick though. The article I came across, which kind of surprised me, the boy Matthew McConaughey himself, man. The homie said that, well, it's going around saying Matthew McConaughey says he's considering a run for governor of Texas. Huh.
Go for it. Anybody's better than Governor Hot Wheels.
Yeah.
Man.
Why not?
I mean,
Greg Abbott right on up out of there.
Go ahead. I mean, Booker T also said he wanted to run quite a couple years ago for mayor, I believe. Shout out to Booker T.
When you said Booker T, I don't know why I was thinking about Booker T. Washington. I'm like, what?
No, we talking about the 5-time.
Okay, yeah, the wrestler Booker T.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't ask me to do no spinner Rooney, man. I can't do it, man.
No, I'm not voting for no wrestler. I'm sorry.
I mean,
but you will vote. But you will vote for you'll vote for Matthew. You'll vote for him.
Nah, not well. I mean, if that's the option. It depends on the option. Like, I really want Beto O'Rourke to run again. I hope he does another run. Yeah, I think he'll be a good governor. I want him to run again. He almost turned Texas blue.
Almost, man. I mean, what's his name? Kane from wrestling. He became a mayor of I forgot what state he became mayor of, but
that was crazy when I found that out. Dude. I'm like, Kane.
But he's actually really good in politics, though. From what I read and from what I researched, he actually, like, when I was like really, really heavy in the wrestling. And, you know, of course, you know, they playing a character on TV. Yeah. But they were saying that Kane is actually, it was an article I was reading, and they were saying, asking the wrestlers about about politics. And they say, you might want to talk to Kane about that one. He's really heavy into it. And I was like, huh? And I was like, wait a minute. Because, you know, you see, it's crazy because, like, you know, when you see them play, of course, they play these characters on TV and everything. But I'm like, Kane. And then, you know, I'm like, okay. And then, you know, as the years go on and everything, and I'm like, okay. So, but Booker T actually, this was a couple years ago when I heard that he was going to run for mayor for Houston, and he had a book and everything out. And he actually has an inspiring story of how he came from, you know, because he was in prison and got out, wrestling saved his life. And where he at now, he's still doing great things. But as I digress. Matthew McConaughey, man, let me read this article real quick, bro. So pretty much saying actor.
So you mean to tell me that Kane is not the Undertaker's brother?
Hey, man, I guess not, man. I mean, it worked, made me believe it. It scared the shit out of me when I was a kid, man.
Yeah,
they did their job right.
I think wrestling when we was coming up, was at its height for me. When you learn it's fake, you're like, okay. But it was just exciting at that time because you had, you know, The Rock, Stone Cold, Kane, Hulk Hogan. If you want to go back a little bit more, you know,
Randy Savage, all of them, man.
Yeah,
that was some legends out there, bro. Man, I applaud what they do. They hard work. It is not easy.
Yeah.
But Matthew McConaughey, pretty much, it says, I found this article, I heard about it, then I found the article again on Men's Health magazine saying actor Matthew McConaughey might run for office. During a recent episode of the Balance podcast, the 51-year-old said a run for governor of Texas is a true consideration on his part. a film professor at the University of Texas since 2019. And it's crazy that he's a film professor because I remember him saying that you don't need. I think he was one of the people that was saying that against going to school to become an actor. But I mean, I would look more into that. So because if memory serves me correctly, but I'll look more into that. And he's a film professor at University of Texas since 2019, and the founder of a nonprofit foundation for high school students. He expressed a desire for more leadership roles. And his quote says, "Because I do think I have some things to teach and do and share." He told the host Renaya Mancarius, apologize if I butchered her name or his name. That's probably her. My bad. "What is my role and category in the next chapter of life that I'm going into now?" So, of course, the article goes on and on. He talked about, what he's thinking about and what he's talking about. You can find that article on Men's Health Magazine. But I don't know. I like Matthew McConaughey, man. I don't know. He probably be like one of them cool governors, and he seems like he knows what he's talking about. But you never know the person's true intentions. So,
I think when it comes to those entertainers and sports figures, though, that gets into politics, I see the example of what happened in California. And so that's why I get a little leery. Governor, remember the governor? It's just like I don't want that to happen in Texas.
That boy Arnold said he didn't know that you got to have a license to drive a motorcycle. That boy just got on.
I mean, that's pretty much that was like the Trump situation on a smaller scale.
Yeah, it was. That was the pre-Trump situation, and then here come Trump, and it's like, oh shit, what have we done? But it's like it's like what Charlemagne once said. Hey man, this country is built on celebrities, so it's like celebrity. Well, it's built on a lot of things, but we have our eyes on celebrities.
Like you have people that I think that really want to do the work and do good and do right by people. Then you get people that's really not there for the right reasons or maybe inexperienced, and it'll show. It shows in the It usually shows, and when it comes to inexperience, usually it'll come up some kind of way, And so that's why I was like, when it comes to entertainers, sports figures, getting into like, especially those big positions like governor and definitely president. Yeah. I need to see a little bit more track record.
Yeah.
Start out in the city level first and work your way up.
Right.
Be a councilman, become a mayor. Yeah. Like move up that way.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I agree on that as well too. Get yourself get some practice in and learn, and don't just jump into it like, oh yeah, this is something I want to do. Like, okay, right. I mean,
this is not. It ain't no something I want to do type of job.
Yeah,
like your job affects a lot of people.
I agree on that. And I know The Rock was talking about The Rock's TV show. I got to catch up on that as well too. But I mean, everybody. I don't know who started that rumor for him to run for president.
I think that was a rumor, bro.
That's what the premise of his show is he's being interviewed because he's on a presidential run.
Right.
So I think that's what started those questions. Like, oh well, you the president, Like we playing it right now on TV like you would, but would you? Like, well, maybe I'll.
Yeah, they baited him into that.
Yeah, man. I'm like,
man.
Not to The Rock though.
Not to The Rock. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I like The Rock. He was one of my favorites. Man. Just saying, man. Hey, somebody started it. He just took it and ran with it and capitalized on it and made it to the TV show. Ain't that something? Right. That boy found another way to make money. Highest paid.
I ain't mad at it, man. Get your bucket.
Got to. Milk that cow as long as you can milk it, brother. I don't blame you at all. So pretty much we have somebody here on the Acting Up show that recently got the vaccination shots. I know we've been talking about that in the public. Everybody's been talking about it, really. Should you get it? Should you not get it? So we got somebody here pretty much who got the experience with it. So Chris, go ahead and talk about your experience, brother.
Take y'all on the vaccination journey with me, so and got my appointment. I'm in line. They checked me out. And so we're getting ready to start. Just waiting for them to come out with the vaccine to give it to these folks. So, this is a tough decision. It was really a last minute decision to decide to go ahead and get it.
Yeah, just verify because
And so now that they verified me, look at all the people out here working hard, from the police personnel to look at all the cars and vehicles. And I'm like one of the first in line. I've been out here since like 5 a.m. If you get your appointment, get out here early. Because there's going to be a line for sure.
So this is for you saying you got your vaccine today? And you'll be notified in a few days by getting your second one, alright?
Okay. So I'm getting my vaccine. First shot. Just that simple, people.
Alright, you're good to go.
So now I've taken the vaccine, and so now we're in a waiting area. You have to wait about 15 minutes before you can proceed and leave on, just to kind of monitor, make sure that nothing crazy happens when you take it. So I've taken the first shot. That's my first shot. So, yeah. Now I'm just waiting.
Yeah, so that was my experience. It was interesting. Definitely. I haven't turned into a zombie yet.
Your arm, you said your arm was hurting for a little while, right?
Yeah, I had a little swelling where they did the shot at, but that's expected. All these other, they give you like this paper with all the possible, things that can happen like off top, because they have you sit for 15 minutes after they give you the shot.
Were you sleepy?
Huh?
Were you sleepy?
I mean, because I was up at 5 a.m. because I wanted to be the first in line. I should have just had other stuff to do that day, but my appointment was like at 10. But as long as you got the appointment, get in line, you get through.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I had none of the hives, swelling, the wheezing, weakness, none of that, none of the big. But they say the second shot is probably the one that gives most people the sign effects. But to kind of counteract that, but like any possible sign effects, like I also done my research prior to, because I struggled with even wanting to take it. So I knew to take a Claritin, or like an Advil or something like those things to kind of help mitigate any possible things that would come up.
What made you want to take it, bro?
Just looking at the numbers, looking at with Texas opening up, 16 states opening up, and just looking at how the virus hasn't gotten any better. It's still out there. The numbers are going down in some areas. And I just feel like it's a chance either way. If I take it, it's a chance I catch it.
Okay, so basically you saying that if you take it, then
I mean, either way, there's no.
Either way it goes. If you take it, you get sick. Okay,
Yeah.
But shit, if you don't take it, then you get COVID. Right.
Yeah. Damn if you do, damn if you don't.
Damn if you do, damn if you don't. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Right, but that's just one of those things. I feel like it was probably the better. It's a gambling game, so I think that's a better risk to take.
Yeah.
Better risk to take.
It's just like one of my coworkers that quit the job because of COVID. Like, oh man, they're not gonna shut the job down. They're not gonna shut the job down because of COVID, so he quit. It's like, all right, so you quit, the job, but then you go to Walmart and you catch it.
Yeah, man.
It's damn if you do, damn if you don't.
Man. Yeah, it's like you just don't know, man. And like somebody else posted on social media on Facebook, he was saying that, man, just take the vaccine, because I'm pretty sure those people who passed away and died from it would have taken it. And
and even talking to some nurses that I know and stuff, like the effects, even if you catch it, like the effects linger for a while. Like some people don't get over it. Some people do, some people don't. A lot of people don't get past the lingering effects that stay, depending on where they are in their health journey. So
yeah, man.
Yeah, I just said, you know what? I'm gonna roll the dice this way.
Yeah.
Hopefully I land on 7.
I mean, sometimes you just gotta go for it, man. It's like when somebody's saying you don't go to the deep end of the pool, but you got no choice but to go. Like, let me go ahead and face the fears, and sometimes you got to take that jump and get through it, or whatever. I can't find the right analogy for it, but
I think with the states opening up, I think a lot of states, those states are going for herd immunity as well.
yeah.
Like, you know what? Let's just open up. Who, if you catch it, you catch it. If you don't, you don't. If you survive, you know. So I think that's also another thing. Watching these states open, thinking they're going. A lot of those are trying to go the herd immunity route.
Hmm.
So that's where you just give it to the masses, and who survives. Like you only expect like a small like this percentage to maybe not make it. Everybody else, y'all catch it and get on. So
Woo.
I don't want y'all risking my life like that either.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true, bro. Yeah.
I like to live. I like to enjoy life.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I like being here. It's cool.
it's pretty cool what we got going on around here, man.
Man, I got shit to do tomorrow.
Right. Just saying, man. Oh my gosh, man.
But yeah,
Appreciate you for sharing that, and thank you for taking that leap, man, and doing that, man. That's
Yeah.
feel good.
now next week if I'm all like this, no, stop. Um, yeah,
What's going on with Chris, man?
I don't know.
What's going on, Chris? Like, man, what happened to Chris,
Oh,
y'all?
man.
That's my only question is 5 years from now, will my kids, like would that affect my kids? That's the only thing you don't know because we don't have the time.
Yeah.
But like you said, with the lingering effects with the COVID, I have heard that you're going to experience some kind of something with your brain after a while. The people that caught it, which kind of scares me because my wife, she had caught it. So
Yeah.
we'll find out and see, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
How this all gonna panned out.
Yeah, man. I had it, of course, and like I said, man, I'm still skeptical of it because I'm afraid of those. Because like those symptoms, if they come back up again, the only symptom that I hated, well, I didn't have all of it, but I had it enough. And the one symptom that I hated the most was the fatigue symptom. And it was like we all had parts, we've been sick, and like the energy just gets sapped from your body.
Mhm.
That right there just straight up sucked. And it I just didn't want to. I don't experience it again. But if I gotta take the shot, just I have to, because I don't want to experience it again. I mean,
That's understandable.
damn if you do, damn if you don't.
Damn if you do, damn if you don't.
Yes, sir. First and foremost, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Acting Up Show. I'm gonna have to give this, man. I gotta do this introduction right, man. This is our very first guest on here. Appreciate you, brother, for taking time out of your busy day and busy schedule to join us on the Just Acting Up Show. So, Dakarai Akil, welcome, brother. Welcome.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. So I myself met Dakarai through the Choices project that he had. He posted on IG. Me being that hungry actor trying to find something. I'm like, oh, bet, and then didn't find out till later on. I'm like, when I typed in the GPS to the address, I like, man, this dude stay like 10 minutes down the street from me in the Med Center. So found out about it, went over there, got dressed up in all black, but I let him talk about that project as well. So but go ahead, let's start off with what started you on your journey to filming and acting.
Yeah, definitely. To be honest, this film acting journey started a long time ago. It started before I picked up a basketball, before I played sports, before anything. I've been in love with film since before I could even walk. My people still tell me all the time they remember. They remember whenever they see me walking around, crawling around the TV, trying to figure out how to get inside, pretty much. So, I mean, that right there, just having that passion, I always studied film growing up. Once I started getting more incorporated with sports and realizing the politics and business behind film at a younger age, I had to make a sacrifice to choosing sports over this passion because of my parents, really. I mean, when you have loving parents that really just don't know where to go, what avenue to go, especially out here in Houston. I mean, at that time, growing up, late 90s, early 2000s, it wasn't that many resources as we have now with filming in Houston, even though we still have lack of resources. Just the fact of, having a legit, agency out here that's really casting, and not just that, hey, you want to see your kid on Disney type, BS scam. So I saw that my parents were just paying money and weren't getting any gains with me, like or callbacks or nothing. Got a few model calls as a kid. I did a lot of photo shoots as a kid because I was about to be a child actor. People don't know that I was really hyped on trying to be a Disney star. Like that was the biggest thing for me. But everything happened for a reason, and I'm really glad that I didn't become that early, because all the trials, tribulations, building things up from the ground up, it definitely helped shape where we are now. So really stuck to basketball. Ended up earning a scholarship. I went to Dawson High School in Pearland because we moved to Pearland. Ended up getting a scholarship from there because I love Dawson, all-time leading scorer, all-time leading, really with a lot of things. But almost went to state, all that. Went to Sam Houston on a full ride scholarship, and that's where film really started. Because at first it was just stage plays and just acting in general. I always wanted to be in films, but I didn't know how I was going to be in it. Once I got to college and realized that, first of all, on my visit at Sam, I realized that we had so much opportunities to create, hands-on. Like a lot of people who only looked at me for basketball were a little skeptical why I chose Sam Houston. And people don't realize I used it because I needed all of my cards to be played right. You know what I'm saying? Something to work out for me in case I decided, like I did my senior year, that I didn't want to play basketball anymore. I got to have an end goal. What am I getting out of this? So pretty much when I went on that visit, man, and I committed pretty much 2 weeks after that visit, my junior or senior in high school, we went to the Dan Rather building, and I saw all of that potential. They got their own studios, they got equipment, they got, so many classes where you can have hands-on experience. I'm looking at all these other schools that's offering either scholarships or want me to do visits. I'm not seeing anything like this. You know what I'm saying? I'm not looking, I'm looking at things that's going to enhance me, not only for basketball, but more so for outside of basketball. Because I was already feeling a little burnt out, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I didn't want to go that long route because, sometimes a lot of people don't want to accept things for what it is. I'm a type of person that always did. I knew how good I was, but at the end of the day, I knew I wasn't like on no LeBron, Kobe, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like the level to where, all you got to do is step out there and the lights are already out there. That was a grind that I was going to have to be fully dedicated to. And I knew I wasn't going to be fully dedicated to that once I got to school and started doing this filming. Because I realized I was more dedicated to that than I was with basketball, sadly. And I still love all-time leading three-point shooter Sam Houston, but that's irrelevant. That shows that the things outside the court what I did, that shows how passionate I was. Because we filmed over 20 films, 2 short films. What else? I'm sorry, 2 web series. And we had our own first little red carpet. Well, I had my own first little red carpet affair at Sam Houston, February 28, 2018, which ironically was 3 years after, 3 years before this past one I just had. So yeah, with Sam, my freshman year, a guy came up to me, Dennis, a good friend of mine. He was an older cat, about 2-3 years older than me. I always hung out with older cats. So yeah, he came to me, and then he was just telling me, because he was already incorporated with the films and everything. So you know how with college you have to go through, the basics and remedials and courses, all of that when you're a freshman. Well, he was already I believe a sophomore, junior. So he was already taking those film classes, and he didn't like to write, but he had a dope idea. And I had told him about my interest in film and how I wanted to, try to help out. He said, all right, well, could you help me, write a script real quick? I just need 4 to 8 pages for a little concept. I said, say less, tell me the story. I'll go home and get it started tonight. I came back the next day with 40 pages. And he was like, man, what are we supposed to do with this? But at the end of the day, he was really, shocked. But it really shocked myself too, because I saw myself, that creative spirit just really naturally come out without me knowing how to write a script. I did not know how to write a script. I just had a whole story, you know what I'm saying, written out. And we ended up shooting that, and that was the first film associated with 3D Productions. And people don't know, but Strange in the Dark, I released that on Christmas Day 2014. So that was what, 6-7 years ago, pretty much.
Yeah.
So I after I released that, I still remember that I released that in front of my I released it online on YouTube, but we had a little watch party at my house. And when I went back home for Christmas break, and my grandmother, rest in peace, she got to see my first film, and it had a lot of cursing in it, but you know, for a 92-year-old. But at the end of the day, you know, seeing everybody watching that, man, that just really, I got to the point where I was like, man, not everybody is able to see me play ball. Not everybody is able to come out to the games. I mean, even when they do, I'm happy. But seeing all of those people at once, watching something that I was working on for 2, 3, 4 months, you know what I'm saying, before practice, after practice, you know, sometimes during study halls, sometimes during classes, you know what I'm saying, just so much things, because obviously I'm learning from the ground up. I'm learning as I go. Yeah. You know, I'm DIY when it comes to this film shit, and people don't realize that. They think, oh, you was coach, you was sculptor, you was mentor. Nah, I'm just a hustler when it comes to this, man. With hustle with knowledge, hustle with progress, hustle with all of that. So, you know, we did that, and after that, Strange in the Dark, it just, I mean, I was just like, man, I want to at least try to do one film a year. And then we did a Sunset by the Lake the following year, which was a decent film, still low budget, still figuring things out. I mean, there's times where, I mean, I didn't even really have a legit cinematographer, to be honest with you. This film, I had, if I could credit a DP, I credit my my stand, because a lot of times I was putting that camera up, pressing that red button, we running up, saying, all right, y'all ready? Let's go, you know. But a lot of people didn't know that, because the storyline, I mean, the story has always been there. You know, even if the quality wasn't always there, the story was always there. So a lot of things you can get away with when that story is that solid. So after that, I started getting into a little more film classes, script writing classes. So it gave me more leverage to be able to create more. And that's where we came out with more short films. I had 2 web series, both of which literally took over the school. Like, you ask anybody who went to school during that 2014 to 2016, 2017 era, they was watching it. Relentless was our first web series. It was it's kind of similar to Family Ties, but it actually takes a different approach. The whole synopsis is, it follows a drug dealer who has multiple personality disorder. And there's a cop who comes in trying to come undercover to take him down, who the guy with the multiple personality disorder, he killed her partner, but she starts falling in love with him while she's trying to take him down. So it's a lot of things going on. You know, he got a rival person that came into town. I'm doing this in college. You feel me? We got
that's dope,
we got, you know, the drugs, the guns, the killings, all that. And I can send y'all little links to the BT. Really, I still have everything on unlisted on my YouTube. Was thinking about revamping that, because a lot of people were intrigued with that, because it was different. You know, it wasn't because at that point in college, people were just filming stuff like, you know, like College Hill or reality shows. Nobody was filming actual stories, you know, like I'm doing Power before Power, you know what I'm saying, like that, like that was big, you know what I'm saying. So we did that, and once we released the first like 1-2 episodes, we had people just trying to come in left and right, trying to be in it, because at first I wasn't really reaching out to people that were in the acting community. I only reach out to people that I knew, because obviously of my schedule, what it entitles, and me being a student athlete, most of the time I'm with the athletes, you know. So I'm using athletes, or I'm using, you know, the people that's associated with us, because that's the only people I really have access to. Didn't start using theater kids till, you know, down the line. But, you know, we did Relentless, and then I was like, man, this was hardcore. And I wanted to change it up a little bit, because I was like, man, it was really hard. It was a lot of killing in it. There was a lot of it was pretty vulgar, to be honest. I got called into the office a few times, my coach's office, because I guess boosters were thinking that I was really selling cocaine. I was like, bro, come on, nah. I really think I'm gonna be that stupid to be filming myself doing that.
Really, nigga.
Like this college kid is selling drugs on campus.
And I know why they were probably skeptical too, because this was around the time, I don't know if y'all remember this, when TCU, that team, had that big drug bust, football.
I heard
and a lot of them kids came to Sam Houston. People don't know that either. So, you know, I was yeah, exactly. Let's just say I seen a lot, man. I seen a lot. So, but after that, I wanted to tone it down a little more and reach out to more of the fan base that I can get everybody, you know, as far as the audience, you know, because not everybody likes killing, not everybody likes, you know, that street shit. So I want to change it up a little bit to try to captivate different audiences. Because one thing about me as creative, I never wanted to stay in one genre. I like being eclectic with my taste, being able to branch out. So we ended up doing Stepping Stones, and Stepping Stones is my version of my modern day version of A Different World. So it follows 6 college friends, 3 boys, three guys, 3 girls, and pretty much goes into each of their lifestyles. And they're all pretty much they're all totally different when it comes to lifestyles. You got the lover boy, you got the geek slash college version who's trying to get his. You got the player who is, you know, the basketball star, this, that, and the third. You got the girls one girl who's like a 6-7 year senior trying to graduate. Like, she's smart, but she just always, you know, she be thinking too much, or she overthinks things. You got a social media queen that just only go up there for status and stuff. But she low-key secretly smart, but you don't really know it because she more so worried about this status stuff more than the books, because you feel like that's gonna take off more, which, I mean, obviously people praising clout more than books nowadays, in my opinion. But and then you got the new girl, which is Lottie. She's kind of like my version of a Whitley, or, you know, somebody like that. So we did Stepping Stones. We did a good 6-7 episodes. It was a comedy, obviously. One of our episodes, which I was really proud of, because I like to incorporate messages in these episodes for sure. The second episode I remember in general was called Love Jones. No, it was called Date with the Devil. And pretty much the synopsis or the overall message of that episode was pointing out date rape, because I know for a fact that was real big, you know, in college and things, girls getting certain things. I mean, shoot, I had to stop certain instances where it looked like niggas was trying to drug women, because like, if I'm a type of person, man, if I see it and I have the capability of trying to stop something, I'm gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, bro, I would not have a good conscience just going home, going to sleep, whether it is publicized or not, because I've had over 5 female friends come to me, talk to me about some rape situation or date rape situation, sadly. So I'm big on doing those type of messages in the films. And of course we did it in an approach to where it wasn't as serious. It had a comedic twist to it, but you got that message, you know what I'm saying? Because it was serious and funny at the same time, almost kind of like a dark comedy, you know. So but I got a lot of praise from that. And then moving forward, we definitely did more episodes. People still asking, you know, for me to revamp that. I'm actually looking to possibly doing that out here in Houston, you know, either, you know, something like TSU or something, because I did that Sam Houston, but we named our university, what did I name it? It was something dealing, it was something remotely close. It was so long ago, something remotely close to Different World, to pay homage, just to try to get the people that know about Different World to pretty much give them that little Easter egg, that little little comparison, you know. But after that, we did a lot more short films. I did some action deals, and then Wake Up, which was my first featurette. It's a film that's kind of like my version of Boys in the Hood. I didn't get to finalize the full deal, but even though I didn't get to shoot the whole script, it still came out to about 50 minutes, which is why it was a featurette. And we had a red carpet to prepare for it. But just to give it just about Wake Up follows two guys. It follows a guy named Trey, who was he's a neighborhood known, you know, drug dealer / former gang member. Well, not former. He is a gang member. He's trying to get out. And his name is Trey. He's trying to mentor a guy named Mike, who is in his last year of high school, who's fascinated with the street life. You know what I'm saying? He has things set up, but he's fascinated with this. He wants the respect. He wants the, you know, the notoriety. He wants the girls. He wants the adrenaline. You know what I'm saying? And Trey trying to get him to realize that it's not a life for him. And honestly, man, most of these stories and these things be true because, you know, with me moving, being able to grow up in both worlds, you know, my people, when we first was, you know, in Houston, me bouncing from school to school, me being involved in things and seeing things, to them moving us because my neighbor across the street, shoot, the one I used to hang out with the most, boy, guy, I mean, shoot, he was infatuated with so much, you know, gang activity stuff. They didn't want that to, they knew that me, the type of person that I was at that time, I was just so trying to fit in, you know what I'm saying, to be doing things. They wanted to be able to move me to an environment where when I have to do that. Well, fast forward, you know, we moved when I'm fourth going fifth grade, we get to Pearland, and now I see more perpetrators than I ever seen before. You know what I'm saying? I see these kids that's out here and he got bigger houses than what my people could afford. You know what I'm saying? Driving up in these nice ass cars, talking about it's a hard life, gangster this, they get doing this, that, and the third. I'm like, man, I never seen this before because I'm used to seeing some real, you know, some real shit out here. And we fast forward here and I see this out here in Pearland, but don't get me wrong. Whenever I was up in high school, that area, Dawson, Pearland, what people don't always forget, we were always divided from Pearland and a little bit of Houston. We had people at one point in time coming from Cullen, you know what I'm saying, coming from Sunnyside, coming from that, and those are people that I really already knew. So when they came over, I knew it was a mix, but it was a point to where I didn't fit in at all, in my opinion. Growing up, I was always an observer. So I use a lot of these observations and things that I went through, incorporate them in my stories. And Trey and Wake Up, I gave Trey the name and Wake Up in homage to Trayvon Martin, and Mike and Wake Up as a Mike Brown, because there was another underlying message with police brutality that I originally wrote in there, and I wrote Wake Up back in 2013, 2014. You know, and I had continued to rewrote it, and I finally released it in 2017, 2018. And we reshot that, you know, 2-3 times. But after 2018, after that first red carpet premiere, got over 500 kids at the school to show up, dressed to impress. And I mean, it was a really big deal, man. And after 2018, after I fully left, because I had already graduated, Sam, I just came back to put this event on in February of 2018. But after I left there, I kind of took a hiatus, so to speak, to pretty much build my knowledge, to build the connects, and even just trying to find myself. What the hell am I doing next? You know what I'm saying? I hung up a jersey. What people don't realize, man, when you play basketball, you play anything really for your whole life. Like literally, your whole life is based off of this. Like, you know that your summers is consistent this. You know that even school-wise, right after school, you going to do this. Because like me, I was associated way more heavily than most people in basketball. You know, I was part of the Houston Hoops organization, played with D. Gibb Hoops. I played with, you know, all of them top names that you hear today. You know, even Dame Dotson, me and him, you know, Damon Dotson was with the Cavaliers right now. Me and him, you know, we played on the same AAU teams growing up since a kid. So I know I played with a lot of people and did a lot. So, but moving forward, you know, when you cross over to a new world where for example, go in the corporate world, you give them this degree. I graduated. I don't have any work experience, but I was team captain. I'm involved in all these organizations. I did this, that, and third. And they like, okay, what does it mean that you redshirted? People don't know that.
Yeah.
That I sat out for a year for development purposes, but it wasn't like I'm just wasting a year. I'm actually building. I'm gaining. I'm doing connects. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They don't understand the aspect of basketball, how big it is to be considered a team captain on a Division I level. They don't know how big it is to be considered a SAC member at a Division I level, which is the student athlete. It's like an associating committee that is like the top tier athletes that represent their team pretty much. So just being part of things like that, they didn't understand that. And a lot of people in the corporate world, if they weren't in sports, you know, because I talked about, I used to go into meetings or interviews blasting my accolades, because that's what somebody said. Hey, you talk about your accolades with basketball, they speak for themselves. You ain't got to worry about it. I'm like, okay, whatever. Because in basketball, they only teach you. They only coaching you up, to be honest, be trying to be a pro basketball player. That's it.
Yeah.
Really not too much in between. Because if it was more in between, there would be more kids being able to have a smooth transition from basketball to their career. They don't do that. They use and lose, and that's another reason why I really lost passion for the game. Not passion for the game, playing on my own with friends and things, but playing for other people, because you take the fun out of it, and it's like it becomes a business aspect. Like, I can give you an example. Shit, I had a 104, 105 fever one time. I'm about to pass out. You know what I'm saying? There's a time where I had a fractured fibula, played 3-4 games.
Ooh.
Coach over here seeing me limping or seeing me not going hard. What's wrong? Like, we need you. What's wrong? Da, 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 da. They need you whenever they're trying to win, but outside of that, when the games are over with, when the lights are down, when the cameras are off, when the basketball need to be put in the cage, how you gonna help us out? Oh, we already moved on to this next person. We don't need you. So good luck, though. Thank you for all you did, but next, you know what I'm saying? And that whole business mind. I mean, I don't know. Just me. It just felt like, I hate to say this, but it felt like slavery to a point. You know what I'm saying? Because we over here busting our ass, you know, putting our bodies on the line. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been to the doctor, the hospital. I had to get heart stuff taken care of because I have what's it called? An irregular heartbeat. So it was certain things that it's a lot of things with me that people don't know that I never addressed. But even with the coach, like, that's the only time that they really showed, like, oh shoot, this is serious. Whenever a doctor has to come, or I have to go get a damn X-ray, and they realize, oh shoot, he doesn't just have a sore leg. His shit is actually cracked, like stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But you know, just transitioning or going to the corporate America. I mean, to be honest with you, that first month, 2 months out of college, I couldn't find nothing. And I had to start working jobs that required probably less of the degree of accolades that I had. You know what I'm saying? I'm working at UPS. You feel me? From 12 a.m. to 9 a.m. packing boxes, 4, 5, 6 carts. You know what I'm saying? I leave there, I go to PPG Paints. I got 2 jobs at this point. You feel me? 2 little side gig jobs. Mixing paint, you feel me? Doing hard labor job. I'm talking about stuff that require a lot of muscle work. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm actually making the paint. I'm carrying these big old carts down. I'm traveling. You know, I'm doing a lot. After I leave there at 5 p.m., I go train basketball. You know what I'm saying? Even though I left the game, sure, I can still make money off of it with my knowledge. So I'm training these kids. You know what I'm saying? After I train them, so I still gotta have time to work out and do my, you know, do the film stuff, doing all that. And I ain't gonna lie, I was more so associated with the nightlife my first year and a half out of college, because I really wanted to make these connects. And I'm looking past just the fame, all of the bottles and stuff. I'm looking at, man, I can really use this as chess pieces, as pawns moving forward once I really get my stuff together. You know what I'm saying? But people got to know you. People got to know your face and stuff. You got to start somewhere. So shoot, it's like after college, I literally felt like a whole chapter where I literally had to just start all the way over. Like it felt like Sam Houston was literally just out the window. What I did there did not matter. You feel me? You a whole new man now. You gotta you gotta do some things. And and I'm gonna be honest, that year really built me up for which I see now. I mean, I know that Sam Houston helped shape it, but that year out, you know what I'm saying, just the transition from moving from college, having all that freedom, and moving back home, and you know, being with the parents and trying to save up to move out within that year, because I was like, man, I don't want to. I mean, it was just me personally. I just didn't want them to have me there, because I already knew that they had my sister, you know, and they were taking care of my sister going through college as well. So I was just always had that mindset of trying to help others, even though it might seem like, oh, you just trying to do this by yourself. Now I'm still keeping others in mind, you know what I'm saying? Because I know of a burden that it could be. So, you know, that year out really helped me, you know, connect with certain people, do a lot of projects. I did a lot of projects behind the scenes people don't know of, like where I PA on set or just came in shadow. You know, I never had that high horse mentality, or, you know, felt like my light shined too bright to come swallow pride and look at people that's doing things on a level or on a level higher than where you aiming to get up to. You know what I'm saying? Just learning from people that's actually doing things, from cinematographers to the directors to even the actors, you know, just everybody. So after doing that, started meeting with some people out here in Houston, and really things started really taking waves once we started shooting our first films. But after I left my job in July 2020, because I eventually got a corporate job.
I was gonna ask you that. You was I saw your Instagram where you said that you was working for 3 years and you quit during the pandemic. How did that conversation go with your supervisor? What was the first thing that came out your mouth? I need to know.
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna let y'all know. I swear my life is real life a movie outside the movie too. Me one day, so the beginning of 2020, I said I'm quitting this job by the end of this year. Like I had wrote that down, I had spoke it, and ever since I had said that, literally, I get a phone call at least once a week or some type of something to pretty much reassure me that that's the mindset I need to go with, somebody trying to agree with me of leaving this job by 2020, because of how much I'm already doing with that job, and people don't even know that I have this full-time 40-hour, 50-hour a week job, you know, with corporate America. Because long story short, with corporate America, I told you I was working them hard labor jobs. Well, eventually, you know, I did a lot of praying, and be honest, man, we do need certain things to get us to certain places, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And one of those is a job. I just didn't want to be trapped into a deal to where it's like, damn, I'm here 20, 30, 40 years, like some other people, even though, yeah, it's a good paying job. Yes, I'm making X amount of money. Yes, it's a, what is it? The it was on Forbes, or, you know, the Fortune 500 or whatever. At the end of the day, it's no generational wealth. I can't pass this down to my kids whenever I'm older, you know what I'm saying? That's a company, you know what I'm saying? So, but they called me back 6 months after our interview, because Enterprise didn't give me the job the first time I interviewed, because they thought my goals and things that I said that I was trying to do, they thought it was too unrealistic, because I've always been a very open book when it came to film and telling people about film. I mean, even when on my recruiting visit, I told them, hey, I do this film stuff. So long as y'all ain't got a problem with it, I'm gonna be doing this. Like, said the same thing with Enterprise. They were like, okay, well, how you gonna be a top salesman, a top manager, do this, or, you know, make these sales, or do this? I said, I'm still coming in first, or I'm still coming in the top with everything. Like, when I'm here, I'm gonna be here, but just know when I'm not here, I'm not here. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't believe that. You know what I'm saying? They don't believe it, and that's really where my mindset and motto with Say Let's Do More came from, because it's just to a point to where I've always been able to show things through my actions rather than talk. Like, sometimes I feel like my deliberate speech, like, it doesn't resonate with everybody. Not everybody thinks the same way that you do. And you have to realize that. So that's why you have to come out and know to prove with your actions and not your words, because your actions speak way more. You know, even when if an enemy talking on you, let them keep talking and prove with them actions. Now it's like, okay, can't really say nothing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like with my actions, you know, the first time they said I couldn't do all of this, they brought me back in another region. It was a Black area manager who hired me. And there was a Black store manager at this location. I went to my interview, and he was like, "Man, just let me know if you here, if you can sell, you can do this." I said, "Bro, I can do whatever I need to. I'm a master at adapting." He said, "Shoot, say less." Within that first 3 months, I had already got promoted to my next location. It was the top seller 3 months in a row, #1 in the city. And then I got over the next 2.5, 3 years, I got promoted 5 times, multiple awards, accolades. This with the company. Of course, this doesn't really faze me because I told them I was gonna do this. They thought I was BS, and I was gonna do this. Like anything I put my mind to, if I put a goal down, I'm going out and getting that. You feel me? Nothing else really matters at that point. So I did that, and then finally I got to my last stage with Enterprise. I moved to car sales division because the money that you can make over there was crazy. And obviously the first 3-4 months before the pandemic hit, because I moved over there in November of 2019. So I was in car sales, started raking in some good money. Obviously, that money going straight to the company. I'm able to produce these films. I'm able to do more, you know, establish more with the company, get the website going. There was so much we're doing. I'm like, yes. And then finally, pandemic hit. You know, it's like, damn, fucking pandemic. How the hell am I gonna sell? How in the world am I gonna sell cars in a pandemic? You know what I'm saying? So, and because I'm like, yo, nobody about to get out the house with this. And but ironically, they deemed us as essential workers, right? They said, they said, I mean, people still got to get around. People still got to do this. So I was just like, shoot. So my job is about, from at the time where I was staying, is about give or take 30, 35 minutes one way. So basically an hour round trip every single day to and from work. And pretty much this was a time where you remember that time period where they had everybody staying at home.
Like I was at work. I was at work.
Yeah, I was one of the ones at work.
I was the one at work.
Made me come to work. I'm like,
I was waiting to stay at home. I was waiting. Come on, baby.
Like, bro, y'all trying to kill us all.
For real. Because it was to a point where it was like, man, they had us trying to work from home. And if a customer wanted to buy cars, that we'll go meet them up there. But it was it was too much of a hassle. So we had to go back up there, and you know they got people on fixed incomes now. So now, of course, my salary goes down. So I'm working. It feels like more, and I'm getting less than I've ever gotten since I've been with the company. Sign #1. #2, I have been making a whole lot of. I was been talking to a lot of creators since before the pandemic who were talking about that leap that they made and how good it is. For example, one of my friends, one close, good childhood friend, who's actually the co-director of Family Ties, Rick, he went to Morehouse, and when he left Morehouse, he lived up in New York. He was working with CBS for a long time, and after he did CBS, one day he just got up in love because he was like, "Man, they burning me out. I can't really create the way I want to. I really want to take this leap because I don't want to just be tied to this company." Yeah, coming out first as a youngin, yes, I'm working with a big company, a well-known company. That's big. It's cool. It's whenever you start going along to where it's like, damn, are you trying to get lost in the sauce to just saying that every single time? Or do you want to be able to create your own and people know you for your own work? You know what I'm saying? It's something that's bigger. So it's to a point to where he left CBS and now he's freelancing and he's bouncing around from New York, Atlanta, does a lot of shoots. So that was another one. My other DP, Deontay, who shot Molly's Diary, he went to NYU Film Academy, the Rush program up in Cali, graduated cum laude. So he really, he's one of the most one of the most talented when it comes to behind that camera lens that I can definitely say, and just him coming out here, because we talked a long time before I quit, about three, I believe it was 3 days before I quit, actually, ironically. But we talked for almost, I want to say 4 or 5 hours, and that was the first time we ever talked on the phone. You know, and I'm at work. Needs to say, I'm at work. I'm supposed to be talking to customers, getting customers in who barely got money. They trying to get us to get people to use their last 500,000 to try to come get a car. And I'm like, bro, how's that gonna benefit them? I'm always looking at benefiting people, man. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't be in that grimy ass world, because it's a real snake. It's a real snake world in that industry too, man. Like it really is bad. You know what I'm saying?
I used to work at the dealership for 4 years. I know your pain. I had to get out of it. It's a lot of politics too, because they give.
It's a lot of politics, man. It's a whole lot.
Yeah, it is.
A lot.
It's
and I was up north, if you know what I mean. So
I
was one of the only ones. I
was working at Jersey Village. Jersey Village.
Yeah, Jersey Village. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Man.
So
it's kind of like everything you went to, bro. Like it kind of like built a foundation for yourself for where you're at now, and you using all of it. You putting it out there, which is dope, man. And I can't do nothing but applaud you, man. I ain't much know, because like I met you, we did this, and I was like, and I see through this, and I found out about that's your cousin and everything. I'm like, okay, cool guy, man. And I get a good read on people, who they are as a person, and I was like, this dude, he pretty cool, man. And number one, you having that 3-point, that still have that record, man, of 3-point. Hey, man, I ain't gonna challenge you in the basketball game at all.
Yeah,
you good, bro? I won't get cooked or nothing like that. I'll play a little, but we can play half court, and we just, I'll shoot the ball, so you give them a shooting percentage or something. But yeah, man, you've been doing some amazing things, bro. That's amazing. Man.
Appreciate it, man. And just to answer that question about what I said when I walked out. Really, after that conversation with Deontay, when he told me that he's moving out here from LA, I convinced him that there was a lot. Anytime I convince somebody and they really like at least take my word and try, because he was about to really try to stay out there. And this before LA was as shut down as it is now. But he came out here and he was like, man, I just want to be able to create. I want to be able to do a lot. And I said, bro, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Houston it's a gold mine for talent, bro. Yeah. Like with your vision, you have so many actors at your fingertips that are willing to work, literally, that just want to create right now
for free.
People not for free. You know what I'm saying? I don't like to bring out that whole free answer, but people will do it for free. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, at the end of the day, people don't know what goes into these productions, like in general. You know what I'm saying? You got to think about locations. You got to think about the equipment, the lenses, the SD cards. This is just a camera. You feel me? That's just a camera. You know what I'm saying? So whenever you find people that not only want to act, but are willing to act for just, like food, snacks, things like that, and not looking for a payment right now, and just knowing that they planting that seed, and that seed one day is going to give them that abundance later, then that's whenever we really create that magic that we do now. Because shoot, I haven't got paid for nothing. You feel me? Nothing. Even that doggone that premiere, that red carpet premiere, that's making payments towards our 3D Productions payments. You know what I'm saying? So that was just a deal to get the company out there a lot more. You feel me? I know that, just like Pooh Shiesty said, I was born rich, I just ain't get my payment yet. You feel me? That's just my mindset. You feel me? So it's just to a point to where I convinced him to come out here. And once he was like, yeah, I'm gonna stay out here, try to get some work in and really do this. Literally one day I was in my cubicle, and I always had sly comments with some of the coworkers and even the director of the whole car sales deal. It was pretty much to a point to where I will always be reading. You know what I'm saying? I'm always reading, or I'm always reading, or I always got some motivational things, on my desk. I got all of these cards on my desk, you know what I'm saying? I got background stuff. I got to set the aura up. I can't have a regular ass cubicle that everybody else has. You know what I'm saying? To make myself realize, yes, I'm in this prison right now, but you about to be out, bro. You gonna free yourself. And there was one day I walked to work, and you know, I dress like the damn like I'm the CEO. Be honest with you, every single day. There's no there like every single day, even whenever they say, you know, you can wear polos, I'm rocking suit. I'm coming in dressed dapper down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Dress for the job you want, not the job you have. And I'm like, yo, I'm practicing on whenever I got the company and got this and everything. You know what I'm saying? So I'm coming to work and they're like, dang, you looking like you the manager. You looking like you the da-da-da-da. I'm like, I'm not looking like I am. I just ain't got that title. You know what I'm saying?
I used to go to school with a guy who would come in with his best fitted boy, had the bow tie on, slim fit or whatever. I forgot his name. But I'm like, dude, you kind of clean as a whistle today. He said, man, watch me every day. And he was like, every day, like on Fridays, I believe, he would just be in his suit or whatever. So hey,
I agree. I think it's definitely a mindset. I used to pick one day out the week out of work to just wear a suit. I call it my boss up day.
Oh yeah.
You know, make sure I'm not stuck in that mindset of this is just a job. This is not the job I'm gonna stay at. You know,
that's right.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. I used to know a guy that was dressed up. I had to go help him fix a battery. I come in with a t-shirt and some work pants. This man literally got a 2-piece on, going to O'Reilly's, and I'm like, damn, nigga, we gonna go fix a battery? Like, what you got going on? He's like, man, I dress like this every day. So he say, man, I dress like this, man, to go to the store, and you just be amazed on how many people just come up to me and they just talk to me, and it's like, these are people at boss levels. Different companies and on. So that's how he make, he get his networking on, bro. It's just his clothes, his appearance.
Exactly. Appearance is everything, man. I mean, shoot, for a lot of people, appearance, I mean, that's the first thing that they see and the first way that they introduce to you. You know what I'm saying? That's that mindset. So shoot, I used to always do that. And I'm dressing up to this cubicle, and me looking back at it now, I felt like it was like me putting on some good prison clothes to go into that cubicle. Like, where I cannot leave. Like, it got to a point where I really felt the leash. That was the day where I left. I was like, man, I feel this chain. I literally walked outside of my cubicle, and I walked outside to the parking lot where we got all these cars. And don't get me wrong, we got a lot of benefits. You know, we can take any car off the lot home, you know what I'm saying, just, driving. So it's a lot of benefits with it. But at the end of the day, what are we sacrificing for this? You know what I'm saying? One of the biggest things is freedom. You know what I'm saying? True freedom. And I was just looking, I'm standing outside, and I'm looking at these cars, and I'm looking at these cars pass by, and I'm like, I can't even leave if I really wanted to. You know what I'm saying? And even if I did, I got to make a little excuse. I have to be here from 9 until damn near 9 p.m. every single day.
12 hours.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm just sitting here. I'm like, man, I'm writing scripts in my cubicle. I got it. I get the most talk tos in every day, regardless. Or if I'm not the most, I'm at the top 5 in the dealership of talking to, or top 3 in the dealership of talking to the most people. I'm getting my work in. I'm doing that work. But now it's finally like, okay, you got that money. You're getting this money. And don't get me wrong, I was making a good amount of money, but I was just like, man, it's messing with my mental. You feel me? And I'm big on mental. You know what I'm saying? And it was just to a point where I was like, I got to move. I see the potential of where we can go. And I never forget, it was a phone call with someone that's called me. It was like, you have, I know that you don't want to accept it right now, but you have bigger shoes to fill than you think, just because of the person that you are. You know what I'm saying? Just because of the way that you are, the way that you move, you're doing things that you don't even realize right now. Once you fully doing that, like full time, you're gonna see a complete difference. I walked outside, and I had been doing a lot of praying. And this is the most random thing. This is why I tell you, I don't encourage people to do what I'm doing. I'm not a role model example. I just did it my way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was like, God, if I see a lime green Camaro drive by right now, I'm leaving this job and not coming back.
I do that
Right.
sometimes, man. I say if I see
You know what I'm saying?
if I see a white car pass by here, that's gonna be my decision
That's
to either
my
go to
cue right
Whataburger
there.
or go home. I thought I was the only one, bro.
Bro, nah, you not, bro. And I kid you not. I kid you not. Before I said the lime green, I said some basic. I said like beige. I said like white. I said like black. And it came through like back to that. I'm like, all right, this too obvious. A lime green with like black or red rims. You ain't gonna see that.
Right.
A lime green Camaro came flying by itself with black rims. I didn't even tell them by. I got in my car and went home.
That was it. That was God.
That was it.
That was it.
You're like, dang,
That
God,
was it.
fast.
Hey,
That was it. I just seen him.
But then, of course, on the back end, I had to. I mean, because with unemployment, because they really did, it backfired on me a little bit. Only because I didn't have them terminate me because I was trying to get some more days off before that, just for my mental health. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
And they were like, I mean, if you need us to put you on the fix, because this is at a time where people weren't really guaranteed their fixed incomes or unemployment stuff. So I was like, nah, bro, I ain't trying to do all that, trying to mess up my pockets. But then when I left, obviously, that was the sole reason why. But there was also some underlying reasons. COVID was a big deal. We had 2 people in our building back to back actually catch COVID and adapt COVID, and they had us working like nothing happened. You know what I'm saying? I was like, bro, I was like, nah, and at this point, with the whole COVID situation, this is where cases like people, they got the dying rates going up. They got people that's adapting this and all of this, and I'm around certain family members. I'm like, bro, I'm not trying to bring this stuff to them. So I'm like, nah, like until y'all come up with a better structure, like, no, I don't want to. And they like, how long do you think that you need? I said, you know what? I'm really just, I'm really just gonna call it, because there's a lot of other things that I can bring up that could really bring this whole damn company down. But I'm a type of person where it's like, man, I know what comes around goes around, so I'm gonna just let what I can't control, let that situation get controlled, and just focus on this. So after I left there, man, I'll be honest with you. Literally on my ride home, I got a phone call from my first network, and I realized that I made the right decision. You know what I'm saying? Because they watched a film and they really was like, man, I'm trying to buy this. I want to do this. I want to die. I'm like, shoot, I see. And that was just God saying, hey, you taking this little leap, let me show you just a snippet of what you getting yourself into. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna lie and say that everything peaches and cream, because obviously it's not. You know what I'm saying? Especially in our time today, our economy. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, whenever you surround yourself with like-minded people, good energy, and you have a lot of good intentions, things tend to fall in place the way it's supposed to. Especially when you're moving fully in your purpose, things gonna always fall in place. You know what I'm saying? I've never had to worry about. I mean, there was times where I was like, man, I don't know how I'm gonna pay the rent, how I'm gonna pay the bills. You know what I'm saying? The car, this, and the third. Every single month, everything's taken care of. You know what I'm saying? And I've left that job back in July 2020. You know what I'm saying? And it's already March 2021.
That's what's
you feel
up,
me?
Bro.
So
yeah.
Who would you say were some of your biggest influences as far as directors and film?
Oh, it's pretty broad. But biggest, man, because I'm a person. I'm definitely gonna answer that. It's because it's different ones that gave me different things. Okay. But like my top ones, I would definitely say R.I.P. John Singleton for sure. Yeah. He was definitely a big one, especially with obviously Boys in the Hood, but not only just that, so many other things that he did outside of that people don't know. Certain films, and even all the way up to his recent work with Snowfall. Just him, and just that mindset of not worrying about doing it a certain way. Like that Hollywood standard. I love independent directors because It's to a point where you can't get them into a mindset of saying, hey, you have to do it this, you have to do it like that. We have to have this particular format or this. Nah, they get out there and they shoot the real. You know what I'm saying? They know the story and they make it real and authentic. I definitely would have liked to seen what his version of All Eyes on Me would have came out to. I know that he had some things.
Yeah.
I know he had some things that he was gonna put out there, and people don't like real thing. Like, I mean, it's a topic of controversy until it's done, and then once it's done, then it's to a point to where you're gonna have people that's not gonna like it, but you never know. You never know. People hear of a scene that he was talking about implementing, and they just automatically bash it out and don't even know where he was really going with it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, so John Singleton for sure is one. F. Gary Gray, I definitely love him. Love the journey of him and just witnessing the fact that he came from Friday. You know what I'm saying? He did music videos, and then he did Friday. Then he went on and did The Negotiator. Then he went on and did The Italian Job. These totally different films. You know what I'm saying? A black director. And it's like, man, because I didn't even know until as of last year that he even did The Italian Job and Negotiated and all of that. So it's like, man, seeing that, I'm like, okay, I'm just looking at them and seeing how they really break things down. Like, I watch a lot of behind the scenes interviews, so just seeing him talk about his process for Friday, and then seeing the growth from his process of Friday to The Italian Job, it was just like, man, at the end of the day, it was still a very intellectual brother, still a person who really knew what he wanted. It's just that each film he really amped up. You know what I'm saying? Another person, I would say definitely Martin Scorsese. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people know, I know that he crazy behind closed doors. I'm a little crazy behind closed doors. You know what I'm saying? But it's to a point to where he's and a lot of people don't know, he actually was a little bit connected to the Mafia mob, him and like Frank Capalla, which is obviously them films like Goodfellas and The Godfather and all of that.
I'm not surprised.
Why they so authentic? Why they so
the Irishman is like, whoa. Like, you just didn't pull this out of the cloud, like
at all, man, at all.
Inspiration. So, question: if you were to be able to redirect or put your swag to a film that's already been shot, what film would that be? If you had a chance to redo another film.
Damn, that's tough. That's tough. Let me see. Put my twist on it. One of them would be The Outsiders. I definitely would put my twist on that.
Nice one.
You feel me? Because obviously there's no brothers in that, but the story was real, and it was a point to where that's something that was one of the first things that I watched that had a completely all-white cast that I was like, damn, why does this feel so relatable? You know what I'm saying? Because it was to a point to where that was when I first seen The Outsiders. That's when I was still bouncing school to school, had certain groups of friends out in HISD, and some of them stories were really just so, they were so real, so raw. You know what I'm saying? And The Outsiders is definitely one of the ones where I felt, obviously in the modern time, I'm big on. I know that trying to get everybody to unify, that's going to be a struggle in a sense, but I'm big on trying to unify us as a community. That's the biggest thing that I'm big on. And I don't know if y'all have noticed or heard a lot of, but there's been, homicide rate in Houston alone,
it's going up.
Is going crazy.
It's going up. Yeah.
You feel me? It's going crazy. Yeah. And I felt like something like The Outsiders or even Young Bloods. Yeah. You feel me? From back in 1970, what was that? 79, I believe. Even Young Bloods, like those two movies really combining them, giving that twist to of course giving something to the people that they want, but also giving something that they need at the same time. Underlying messages, just increasing unity. That's why that's the whole point of doing choices. You know what I'm saying? I did choices to show us coming together. Just because people, like when people see a lot of black people together, it's just so it's a powerful thing. It's
Man,
very powerful.
one thing, not trying to cut you off. So
Yeah,
when we were doing choices, man, it was dope and beautiful, and seeing all our people that melanin and black felt powerful. But man,
exactly.
right before we went to go film like the promo video, we all stepped outside and we was talking. We was quiet, and your next door neighbor came out and he locked his door. He turned around, he looked up, and of course he's black himself. He said, "Oh shit." And he looked at us and he was like, "Oh man," he like grabbed his chest and he was like, "Oh man," he said, "I love it though, but I was scared as shit, man." And it was that right there, and then it was powerful right before we walked to the spot where you wanted to film the promo, which was dope as hell. It felt powerful, just all of us together, unity, just walking right there towards it. And when we stopped right there, and Koyo and all y'all was like filming, taking pictures. This Caucasian guy was driving his car. He looked out the window. He was like looking hard. He was like, "Oh, you're filming," and he just waved to us. And we just we just did like that simple. We just, "What's up?"
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He like
they get revenge. Revenge is coming,
dude. It was so a so iconic and dope moment. And then like right on cue when he left, we all made eye contact with each other, and we was like, "Yeah." It was just so funny, man.
It's like a line in that Neo song, but it's a line. I'm a movement by myself, but I'm a force when we're together. And that holds true.
That's a
yeah.
I'm telling you, it was so dope. It was so funny.
No, that was definitely dope, pivotal. To be honest with you, we shot Choices last year, and it was just me and D Rose that shot it at that point. And I didn't really like the outcome of it because it was a very vulgar one when I shot it first. I was cursing a lot, and I felt like it was gonna really take away from the message. It just seemed real hot headed. And at the end of the day, we didn't have any Black Panthers at all. It was just me and him. And even though we were gonna, insinuate like it, I was like, man, instead of insinuating something or trying to make it seem like something is, why not go out as much as possible, as far as your resources will let you, to see? You know what I'm saying? That's why moving forward, we were like, man, we about to do everything we doing. We're going at it at a higher budget mindset, but obviously just utilizing our resources, what we have. So with that being said, with the casting, with more people, I was like, man, I hope we can get at least 4 or 5 people. You know what I'm saying? We got double that, and made that powerful because we sent out the casting like a day or 2 days before the actual shoot. It was last minute, and that's really how I work sometimes too, because I prepare a whole lot of things ahead of time. Like I told you with Choices, I wrote that a good 6-7 years ago. America, I wrote 6-7 years ago. Family Ties, I wrote that a good 5 years ago. Molly's Diary, I wrote that originally for my cousin about 3-4 years ago. So it was so many things that we've prepared a long time ago. So we can act last minute on, so to speak, and still come out with productions like we did. Because I don't know if you've seen, but Choices officially got selected to its first film festival.
Yeah.
So so now, appreciate it. So now we have of our last 3 films, which moving forward, I really only consider those 3 because in college, obviously, we weren't aiming for the higher production deals, but our last 3 films, all of them have been selected to film festivals as a lady. So
you won some awards, have you? I seen on Instagram you won a couple of awards, have you?
Yeah. So my first award that I ever won at a film festival was back in 2019. I won for Best Song, Fight the Power. I don't know if y'all seen it. It was actually the theme song for my film America. But I won Best Song there at the NBFF, at the National Black Film Festival. Then fast forward, we just recently won in New York for America. And we also won in Europe for Best Drama Film for America. What other awards we had? I believe we had I'm trying to remember what other one. I believe that's the ones right now, like the actual accolade awards that we had. The other ones are just selections. But yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
But just getting notarized for that is just awesome. Showing that the hard work you put into is just
Exactly.
Yeah.
and that's what's so dope about it. And like because like you just never know. You know, you have something, you put your hard work into it, your passion and everything. And that's what's so different about acting and with this art. When you create something like you dot your I's, cross your T's, you like, I hope this flows right, hope this works right. And then you put it out there and you like, I hope we'll see what happens. And then you walking away with some awards and just getting a notification, bro. That's dope, man.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah, appreciate you. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
definitely, man.
Yes,
So
sir,
so what's next? What you got going on now?
Man, right now I'm structuring and building the team a little more so that moving forward, we can be a whole lot more. I mean, we are organized, but be even more organized. Have bigger productions, bigger events, just doing bigger things. And one of the biggest things I'm always been big on, the whole reason why I wanted to be a nonprofit is to give back to the community. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of growing up, not really having that resource or that place, so to speak, kind of like a boys and girls club. You know what I'm saying? But for people kids growing up that want to be in film, you know what I'm saying? Nobody really had. I don't even know if they really had that anywhere. You know what I'm saying? But that's one of the biggest things I want to be able to give back to these kids, to these communities with low income. People don't have these resources to show them that, hey, there's somebody that's trying to help. You ain't got to do certain things or kill this dream just because you don't have the resources to amplify it. We'll bring it to you. We got cinematographers, we got directors, we have lighting, we have the creations. You know what I'm saying? Even if you have ideas, bring it to us. We'll help you, do certain things. So doing that, giving back, just on a global scale, one of the biggest things that we're doing with this community service chair, which we're aiming to build and grow. That's one of the first ones I'm really trying to grow because just like Fred said, sure, I'm not into charity work, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to giving back, giving back like on holidays. No, I want to be able to do something regularly, like every single week. So with that being said, just building that community service deal, but also structuring some of the committees so that moving forward, the events, like I said, would be a lot better. We'll have that Molly's Diary showing in April, most likely, and then we're gonna stream it right after it. To our Vimeo. We have a Vimeo page where we stream things you can rent or buy, and we'll do that probably for a good month or so before we release it out to film festivals. And then as far as the other ones though, the bigger scale as far as productions that we're up to, we only focusing on two: Relapse and Family Ties. Relapse is our first feature film. I don't know if y'all were able to see that trailer. I can send it to James. He can send it to all y'all. But Relapse is the one that we're really aiming towards. We partner with a nonprofit popcorn company titled Paparazzi Popcorn. They're right here out of Houston. They're helping us to raise funds for this film because it's a really big pivotal film, and it's also obviously going to require a lot of resources as far as money to shoot it, but it's a great message. Relapse is a mental health awareness, substance abuse, and domestic violence type film. It follows two main characters, but it has a lot of side stories incorporated within it. And there's a lot of room for actors to be in there, whether it's cameo roles or extra roles or, even just supporting character roles. And we're going to be casting for that as soon as we solidify budgets and moving forward. But Relapse is a big one that I'm looking to have a lot of people in the city incorporated within, because I want this to take over the city because it has a very big message into it. It's something that a lot of people are going through, obviously on the daily, especially with the pandemic hitting and money low and you know, mental health, even before then, was always a big deal, especially in our community. And we never really talked about it. It was always said to, you know, brush things off. You know, we already deal with, you know, generational curses. What's going on in your mental, you shouldn't be really, you know, thinking about. You know what I'm saying? That's for quote unquote white people. And that's exactly why they only let white people go to these mental asylums when they do some things, and then they give us another statistic in that doggone cell. You feel me? That goes to show you that we got to help each other out. We have to take the initiative and not wait for these people who obviously don't want to do anything. We have to take the initiative to help our community out. So that's why, especially with these films, man, I definitely want people to see that. And Relapse, this is my baby. It's my first official feature. That's why we holding out on doing it. I'm treating Relapse almost like Nipsey treated Victory Lap. You feel me? Because all these other short films,
Detox.
or the doc, exactly.
Yeah,
you feel me? Because it's like I'm dropping all these side mixtapes. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Almost like my brother, VP of 3D Production Spells. He out in ATL. He's like, bro, we doing like Master P50. You feel me? We doing these mixtapes out the trunk to fund for that big ass album. That's what we doing.
Smart,
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And because nobody really thought about that approach. I just looked at it to a point where I'm like, every time I step outside, I see somebody shooting a new feature out here. Don't get me wrong, people are shooting, they filming out here, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
But with me, it's like, what are we filming? You know what I'm saying? Are we doing? Is anybody really filming things to really? Are we filming things just to entertain? Or are we filming things that are thought provoking, things that are gonna last past this moment right now?
Send a message and everything, and get everybody aware of what's going on, man.
Exactly, aware of everything, like, because it's so much stuff. Like, for example, choices in general. Before Judas and the Black Messiah came out, remember, we released Choices December 4th. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was the anniversary day of his death.
Right.
When I released that, a lot of people didn't even know about Fred Hampton. They didn't know about that story. I'm talking about our own people. You know what I'm saying? That just goes to show you, man. It's just like small little instances like that. It's just, even with Molly's Diary, I had little small hidden subliminal messages that's really talking about trafficking in the city. And she's trying to pretty much she's trying to figure out the bigger picture, like who's all behind it. And Molly's Diary is a deal that kind of leads you on a little goose chase, but it's one of those mystery thrillers.
Let me see. We can actually wrap it up right there. Get you out of there, because I know you a busy man, and we can chop it up and talk for hours, bro, about this project.
For sure.
Yeah. But yeah, go ahead and introduce Molly's Diary, and then we'll go from there. And then we get you out of here, brother.
Definitely. So ladies and gents, want to be able to introduce to y'all the official teaser trailer to the film Molly's Diary.
Man, thank you, bro, and many blessings to you.
And when Molly's Diary drop, we're gonna bring you back. You talk about the show, man, the movie.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yes, sir.
Definitely. Yeah. And I definitely would like to try to get y'all come out there. Y'all schedule align to see it, because we're gonna do more of a casual approach for the next showing. Not doing more of a red carpet, just more so just getting people come out to enjoy the movie, so to speak. So I'll definitely keep y'all posted on that.
My schedule is wide open. I still got my job. My lime green and black car ain't passed yet.
For me, that lime green card coming real soon.
Yeah, it's coming soon. It's gonna come soon.
It's on the way.
Oh yeah, it's on the way. And I will go up to my supervisor. I got some news that you can use.
I'm gonna walk in there. I'm like, I'm the Dakarai said, I can do this. Take this badge. Like, who is he? Don't worry about who he is, man. I'm quitting right now. I'm gonna get the when
I'm gonna wait for an important meeting and just walk out. Fuck it.
Just throw everything out the way, man. But once again, brother, greatly appreciate you. Many blessings to you, man. Thank you for taking time out of your day, man. Inspirational, man. Thank you.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
That was our first interview. Shout out to Dakarai Akil and 3D Productions. Thank you again, brother. Thank you again for taking time out of your busy day. Like I said, thousands of times. Always got to show gratitude and appreciate all those who come through here and, talk about themselves and talk about what they got going on and talk about their journey. That was really inspiring. I can't even talk. I was so excited about the interview, but it was very inspiring. There we go. Pat myself on the back that I got there. But very inspiring story of a young man's journey to where he was at a couple years ago or a year ago and where he is at now. So we're going to go ahead. That was a good question, by the way, Chris, that you asked him about the
influences.
Yeah. Who would you work with now? What would you twist with? That was a dope question. I love that question. But
because every director have entertainer, they have their own. If they were to do it different, like I wonder how the new coming to America would be if we had got the Ryan Coogler version.
Yeah.
Or the one that Aaron Magruder wanted to do. What was left on the cutting floor.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
We're gonna get into this critics corner real quick. So
what's happening?
What is happening? So pretty much we already know about this movie right here, man. So this movie supposed to come out, what was it, last year? Black Widow. It finally is coming. I guess officially, quote unquote, coming out in May around my birthday. Well, May 4th is my birthday, but later on. But thank you, Disney, Kevin Feige, whoever just finally gave this film the green light, and they had to do it. They had to, man, because they, how Marvel is. They got everything in a certain timeline, and this needs to be shown for this.
Yeah.
So.
Do you think that her moment, Black Widow's moment, the past with because I just finished WandaVision, and by that time they're gonna have what is it? Falcon and the Winter Soldier. That's gonna pass by the time when that, and then they're gonna have what's coming next after that. They're gonna have
Loki comes in June or July, I think.
Next.
Yeah.
Some kind of way they're gonna fit that in, because that was supposed to be the one to kickstart everything. With this phase, what is this, like phase 4?
Yeah, I think this phase 4.
This phase 4. Okay.
This is supposed to be the beginning of phase 4. I mean, I think it'll be all right. I think they'll all flow into it, because she was the first. She was the first main female superhero in this phase, this MCU.
Yeah.
And I think they should have did it, but I don't know. The powers that be kind of held things back or whatever. I don't know.
Well, Marvel is pretty smart at these kind of things.
Yeah, and with the multiverse, does a character really truly die off? You could always make a character back now that we have the multiverse. So
yeah, because I don't know if you all finished WandaVision, but it's you finished. We all finished. Okay.
Shout out.
Yeah.
I liked her since Survivor's Remorse.
Yeah.
I wanted more of her on screen. I wanted to see her. I know it's not going to happen till Captain Marvel 2, but I wanted to see her come into her photon powers fully.
Yes, indeed.
It was like a little
Yes. Man. That's my new MCU crush right there.
Yes, sir.
Mine's first. Mine. You can't have it.
Yes, sir. Hey man, hey man, Gianna, get at us. I'm hit you in the DM, girl. Don't look at us weird when you start hitting them DMs. I'm pretty sure they're blowing up them DMs right now. But yeah, man.
Right.
Hit them on the DM. I happily.
Yeah, we don't want to get Mike in trouble. No.
No.
You other two. Not Mike.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, Mike. Not Mike.
No.
Leave Mike alone. He's a married man. Man, but what's the name? What else is going on? We got, of course, the Falcon, like you said, Falcon Winter Soldier. That's next week, as well as the Snyder Cut is next week. I was trying to request off so I can watch the Snyder Cut because it's 4 hours.
Damn.
Bro, like what day is? I think they said it's the 18th.
It's a Thursday. It's a Thursday.
Yeah,
that's
the 18th.
Technically my Friday. Yeah.
Yeah, 18th for Snyder Cut and 19th for Falcon and Winter Soldier. I'm like, man, if I go to bed early and I can wake up at a certain time to watch it, and you know I can speed through Friday. I can get through Friday. I can power through. I don't know. We go be looking like a raccoon with bags in the eyes and stuff or something, man. I
Watch
want to
like 2 hours, take a break. Okay, this is a boring part. Cut it off right
yeah.
Man, I'm telling you, man. And I also found out a couple of days ago that the Batman, Robert Pattinson's Batman, they wrapped up filming.
Oh, nice.
Okay, that's what's up.
I'm looking forward to that one. They kept saying that all these things kept happening. This person, this is acting up on set. Robert Pattinson was having problems on set and everything, but it looked like they wrapped it up and got it done. So
they powered through it.
Got to, man. Had to get it done, man.
Yeah. And in other news, also looks like Avatar has retook the top spot of all time box office numbers over Avengers Endgame because it was re-released in China. Yeah.
What?
Wow.
And you know, I may be the oddball out here, but I still haven't seen Avatar. So
to have my personal opinion of Avatar, I don't see what's the hype about it. That's just me. I honestly don't. I've seen it once and I was like, okay. I know it was because someone explained it to me that it was the first of its kind at that time. But
yeah,
it just didn't do anything for me to be like, oh my God, it's just absolutely incredible. That's just my opinion.
I ain't really. It was I'm sorry, I'm laughing at something, but it Avatar was cool. I'm kind of like that with you as well. I don't see what all the hype is about it, but I mean, hey, it's cool.
I mean, it's high.
I'm maybe not going to still not watch it, so I'm good.
I mean, it's hey man, it might be what you like. I don't know, man, but
I don't know. To each his own.
To each his own. There's a little rumor going on as well. I'm intrigued about this. There's a rumor going on We Got This Covered right now, saying that Jim Carrey is reportedly in talks for Deadpool 3 villain role.
Okay.
Okay. I dig that. I can get with that.
I don't know, man.
I think he's goofy enough.
Yeah.
It depends. I know he killed it when he played Dr. Robotnik. That shit was funny.
Yeah, he did a good job on Sonic. Yeah. And that's the last role I remember. You know, you're big as your last role. So yeah, that's my last impression of Jim Carrey is Dr. Robotnik. So I'm like, yeah, he could fit Deadpool.
The boy brought Dr. Robotnik to life for real, because I didn't think these boys ended up pop locking and everything and dancing and stuff. And I was like, okay, Jim. Cause I was like, what y'all gonna do, Robotnik, man? How you gonna? But it worked.
Yeah.
It worked, man. Speaking of all this, celebrities and everything else, man, cancer culture is in full effect, bro.
Oh man.
I kind of laughed at it. But I mean, I think we had a point in this pandemic where there's nothing else better to do but complain about something that How many times we've been sitting on our couch watching cartoons and we just go off on a tangent saying, man, this character do this, 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 and this. Somebody must have highlighted it, well, Pepe Le Pew do, and just took it and ran with it.
Yeah, I know.
How do you cancel a cartoon?
Just like that, cancel a cartoon.
Somebody had to draw it. Somebody had to write the words for him to say.
Okay,
yeah.
But I knew at a very young age that Pepe had to go. Yeah, that wasn't a surprise to me, and I knew it because he just had this way of like he would spray cologne and then they would spray cologne on a woman and the other skunk and she'd fall and then it's me like he's all kissing all on her and then she's trying to run away from Pepe and Pepe keeps on following her. So yeah, I knew. And Speedy Gonzales, I don't know why they had to get rid of him.
Yeah.
But it's all good.
I like Speedy.
Yeah. I like Speedy. Him and his cousin Slowpoke Rodriguez kept that thing on him, man. Slowpoke Rodriguez was slow, but he had that pistol with him.
They need to get rid of some of them old episodes of Tom and Jerry. I don't know if you guys ever seen them before. Yeah, they had Mammy on there. Thomas.
Yeah, but I ain't gonna lie, I laughed my ass off in one episode. Y'all probably don't remember when Tom got drunk and went upstairs and she was asleep. And he threw that bucket of water on her to wake her ass up. He came out the room and he ran down the stairs with the bucket on his head. She came to the flight of the stairs and she had a broom. She took a couple steps back and she jumped off the top of the flight of the stairs. And I bust out laughing. Cause like this big ass bitch about to come from. And she jumped on Thomas, bro. And like they put they just showed like everything downstairs was just wrecked. I laughed so hard just the thought of her big ass. I'm sorry. And jumping on the top of the flight of the stairs on this small cat, bro.
Yeah.
She on your ass, Thomas. But
when Tom used to have a dynamite in his mouth and it blows up and then it goes to the black face.
Yeah. See that?
Okay, so they need to get rid of all of those because on Boomerang one night, this was like I want to say a year ago, I seen that. You know, and that was brought to my attention. My sister brought that to my attention a long time ago, and I was like, that is racist. Or when he was singing to that other cat, is you is or is you ain't my baby. You know what I mean? Is you is or is you ain't my baby.
That's the classic though. I don't know. Man, I like that one though. That one was cool though. That that boy Tom was spitting that hardcore poetry.
Yeah.
He said, bitch, you set my soul on fire. Like,
but the thing is that he I don't know, man. That's racist as hell because he was Tom don't speak. He don't say anything, right?
That is true.
And then all of a sudden he starts to speak and he goes, is you is or is you ain't my baby.
All right, my bad. I'm sorry.
He was a talented musician. I just watched the new movie that came out. It was actually okay.
Yeah, it was good. I saw it with my son.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, but I mean, it has to be a certain line that you cannot cross and everything. And man, but there's some things I understand why, but then there are other things where like y'all taking it too far. So I don't know, man.
Cancel it all.
That's probably what's gonna get to it,
Fuck it.
They said, Pepe, you a little bit too aggressive with that other cat, man. You can't be going around kissing on people and shit like that.
And she will run away all the time. Every time when she seen Pepe, she gone. And Pepe just
like you up there moaning and shit, kissing on this damn cat. Like, Pepe, get your ass out of here.
I heard the scene that would have been in Space Jam 2 would have been him trying to beat Pepe and they kind of checked him on being misogynistic. But I guess they decided to cut the scene all together.
Wow, yeah.
Oh my God.
It's a certain way you gotta do things.
It's like, you know what, it's too much. Let's just cut that whole scene out. That's what
I say y'all might as well cancel Garfield too for being a lazy cat for just laying around all day and eating stuff. I'm like, that's kind of like what I do when
lazy hating cat.
Lazy hating cat.
You ain't doing no house cat chores, catching the mices and mices and nothing. You just sitting on your ass eating lasagna, you're watching TV, huh? Exactly. That's what we're doing around here. So, but man, this is what we got to go through, man. There's other more important things we got to take care of, but I guess they trying to get to. But I'm trying to figure out why. So what about South Park? What about y'all was quick to say something about the Boondocks. I mean, they did say something about South Park, but I mean, y'all gonna cancel them too?
I used to be, be like, what about South Park? But then I watched, what season was that? I want to say that was season 20.
Yeah.
When the parallel between what was going on in the real world and how they displayed it in a comedic way on South Park, I was like, this is some genius writing.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
I was like, this is really good. I was watching every episode, like, dang.
I liked it the early episodes with Isaac Hayes when he played Chef.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, children.
Hello there, children. How my little crackers doing? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say crackers. I'm sorry. I mean, I hope I ain't offend nobody. Oh my gosh! Now they about to cancel me now. Cancel James now.
They cancel James before he even gets started fully.
Like, I'm a nobody. Why you want to mess me up, man?
South Park this past week recently did a special for the vaccination special.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was pretty funny. Where the old people they had the hot spot in town was the vaccination center. They lined down around the corner, around the block. Everybody trying to get in. Oh, no, you too young. Oh, we got a VIP coming. There's some old 80-year-old like, VIP. Now we gonna go party and hit all the bars. All the old people it was just hilarious. It was well written. Like they got smarter writers. I like it better now than I did in the early days.
Yeah. Oh man, just bring the Boondocks back like they supposed to, man. Hopefully, they still working on it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is the time in our show where we talk about who is acting a fool. Who is it, man? It's I want to hear this story, man. Because who is it today? Who's making history today? I want to hear this.
Okay, here we go. So acting a fool. So y'all know we've been in a pandemic, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's already stress enough on relationships and couples with just being with this extra time with their spouse, right?
I'm telling you.
All right, so it's a Ukrainian couple who grew tired of arguing and trying to mend on their off and on relationship. So you know how they decided to settle this during the pandemic?
How?
By handcuffing their hands together for 3 months and documenting their experience on social media.
God damn it.
What?
They handcuffed themselves together for 3 months.
Man.
They called it their experiment on Valentine's Day. I guess since Valentine's Day, it's been getting a lot of traction. And, in terms of like physical comfort with everyday passing, we're getting used to it more and more, they said. Anyway.
It's just the mere fact that they handcuffed for 3 months.
Right. They were saying that fights between them would not disappear. They would still fight. They would still approach a dead end. So they thought it was a good idea to help them work through their fighting. And amongst the most burning questions that people do have is like, how do you go to the restroom when you just handcuffed to somebody? And they said they would just stand outside hanging while they doing what they do. And it's like, why would you put yourself through that? Like,
I'm not finna stay in the restroom when my girlfriend had to take a shit.
Bro, when my wife had corona, when she had that virus, bro, we was in this house for 14 days. That's enough. that was enough. I mean, even when we did argue, we had to listen. I'm gonna be the bigger person, and I'm gonna talk to you about this and that and the third, and we're gonna bury the hatchet because we got 8 more goddamn days in this house.
God damn.
Man.
Just imagine you being locked up with someone handcuffed from hip to hip for 3 months.
I mean, it's one thing to be locked up or be inside, but to be handcuffed, that's a whole nother element.
That's a whole nother monster.
You see, like free will, I can do this when I want to.
Right?
Do that when your arm is pulling on me. Like,
I'm trying to go here and get something to eat. No, I want to go to the restroom. Women go through their cycle.
That's another thing.
That's another thing. I'm like,
yeah.
And you stuck. You want me stuck right there?
That's 3 months. That's
bro, 3 months.
That's 3 times the second. So you want me to be right there? What? Why you changing that?
No,
How you
I'm not finna
wash your
fucking
hands?
do it.
Hey, I need an extra hand over here.
Yeah, like, hey, man, fuck that. Like, I ain't fucking doing it. Excuse my French, but I ain't fucking doing it. You got your mind, lady. Both of them.
Man, come on, man. Come on, that ain't. So when I'm playing Warzone, she gonna be right there.
Why you always want to play the game?
And she be there talking shit. You ain't doing nothing but dying.
and you know, we as men, we get extra pissed and mad when if we watch the game and our team don't win, or if we playing the game, we can't get past this part, and just that one little word. So you lost again? Man, shut the fuck up. He's just like,
yeah. That's my son when he gets the point and then laughing. Like, you died again, you suck. I be ready, hey, man, go in your room, man. Get out of my room, man. Get out of my room.
Mind your business. Just mind your business.
Man, go in there. Get out of my room. Close my door while you at it.
Man, I make my nephew take a nap when the Rockets lost. He's like, look at the score. Look at the time. They're about to lose, Uncle James. Man, get your little bit. You know what? I'm about to hit this little nigga. Like, no.
Man, bro. That's pretty extreme.
That's too much.
Yeah, that's too much.
Yeah,
that's too much. I couldn't do it. That's a good one. Y'all out of line for that one. I couldn't do it.
You're acting a fool. Whoever you are.
Ain't no way in hell. Show, ladies and gentlemen, when we talk about mental health, we focus on that, and we pretty much what we're going to do is I'm going to share an article with you guys that I found. So I found this on NAMI.org, and it's a recovery story. The writer is named Carol M. I'm not going to say her middle name, Price. And so the article pretty much goes on talking about how her problems, and it starts off, I'm not gonna read the whole thing, just a little bit so you get the gist of it. And it starts off saying, when I was 26 years old, my symptoms of mental illness caused my problems for me. I started to have emotional problems for the first time and was hospitalized in Texas. One of my darkest moments was when I was having lots of fear and feeling angry about life. In addition, not getting along with family and friends was causing problems for me in my life. I was not able to hold a job and was having dealings with the police. I felt as if I had a void in my life and nowhere to go. Not being able to function in society was a problem for me. These are some of the feelings I was experiencing at my first hospitalization. And then the article goes on saying she having to accept her mental illness and she has to take charge of her life and move forward. And then it also keeps going on saying that knowing that she has hope in the cornerstone of recovery and believing she could have access with her life is critical, and saying that you have success and dreams take on many different directions to arrive at your destination. Success means building upon my strengths and moving forward in my life. Hope means that you believe in yourself and feeling positive, never accepting defeat. Basically, what she's getting at in this article is saying, yes, that she does have, things, mental illness. She does take medication, but she didn't want to become a victim of what she had going on. And she wants to let people know that deals with mental illness or whatever it is that others deal with, that, hey, accept, there are certain times where you have to accept what is going on, and it sucks. It's not right. I wish there were things that she can get control of, but she's accepting it. She's embracing it, but she's also seeking help for it. And that's pretty much the note that we're trying to drive home with this. And we're telling people to seek out help, get help, and remind yourself that, there are ways and there are things that you can do in order to, not let your mental health, deter you from, what you can succeed in life, what can, keep you back from growing.
Right.
And to continue to move forward and push forward with this. And this is just one of multiple articles I found, and I thought it was really good to, touch on it. it goes on with her saying, just talking more about it. Like I said, you can find this on NAMI.org. The person says it's called Recovery Story by Carol M. Price. Really good story. And I'll find more stories about what we can share on. I know there are stories that we found on Men Health Magazine, that I found on Men Health Magazine, about how they work out, they eat, they diet properly, any and everything that they can to try to keep themselves on a straight and narrow, keep themselves moving forward. Because it's life, and there's some things that there are cards that we were dealt in life that we just had to take it, roll with it, and deal with it. And we're not saying that what you're not going through is what's the word I'm looking for? Is just you just brush it aside. We understand, you understand, but try to find ways and find help to make yourself to move forward, and you can still accomplish some great and amazing things despite the fact that you have this mental illness.
Right. So, it's okay not to be okay.
Yeah.
Get that you need.
Absolutely.
Tap it in. This is show number 9, I believe. Yeah. This was off. Yeah. Once again, shout out to Dakarai Akil, 3D Productions, and his team and what he's doing. That was our first interview, so that was great. And good news, you can now find us on Spotify, iHeartRadio. Yeah, we getting there. We doing this thing. This is awesome. I'm excited about this, man.
Follow us, like us, follow us, like us. On where, Mike?
You can follow us, like us on Instagram and Facebook.
That's right.
And like and subscribe on YouTube. My son's so smart, he tell us, you got 80 followers, you got 80 subscribers, you got 80 subscribers, you got 80 dislikes.
Oh, man.
He's like, yeah, he's on it. I can see him becoming a YouTuber.
Yeah.
That's his
all in due time, man. All in due time. Sir. Don't forget about us on fan base as well, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Man, so this was an awesome, great show. A lot of positivity. And also the craziness with the I can't be handcuffed. I don't give a damn, man. I can't be handcuffed to nobody. I'm sorry. That's still in my mind right now. I am like, how do you come up to baby want to be handcuffed, man? Fuck you. I'm sorry. No, we're not doing that. So
and once again, big shout out to my boy Chris I'm wearing that dog face today. Hey, my boy Chris come through with the drip. Yeah, you can catch him on Dogface Clothing Company. I'm gonna post a link into our bio on our page, and yeah, you got some good stuff. We got some good merchandise coming out.
Yes, indeed. And look out for our next show. We will have somebody. We went to the premiere of O'Shea, the first episode, so we'll try to get somebody on next week before that show. We'll talk a bit about that. Talk about how we got suited and booted out there looking fresh. Well, I ain't really get suited and booted, but. It was some people out there that got suited and booted. I'm gonna have to get myself a nice suit, man. I'm gonna have to rent one or something.
But my wife was looking gorgeous last night.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Like trying to get them brownie points.
I gotta get the brownie points because she was mad. You didn't tell me.
Yeah.
And this and that, the third, and everybody's in here with gowns.
She was nice. Your wife, she's really cool, man. She's really cool. First time meeting, she was really cool. Yeah.
Thank you.
Shout out to Mike. Clap it up for her one time.
Yeah, clap it up. Keisha Roberts.
Clap it up for her. Yeah. Thank you for bearing with us and the craziness and everything with. But yeah, it was awesome premiere. But we'll get into that on next show. But I don't know who they gonna cancel next. Woo!
Big Bird. I don't know. Yeah. Barney is Barney next. He be giving out a lot of hugs.
They need to cancel Helga ass from Hey Arnold. that heifer right there, man.
Yeah, she's a big bully.
Yeah, you gonna ask old Betsy right there.
They need to cancel that little snitch on Recess too. They ain't he be telling he have a whole notepad.
That boy Randall. Miss Finston, man, get your bitch ass out of here.
Goddamn Miss Finston. Sit your ass down somewhere.
Randall would have to caught that fade every day from me, bro. I ain't much a bully, but he would have caught it from me. Nigga, get your ass out the way, Randall. Miss Finston, my ass.
I'm telling you who I think they're gonna cancel next. They're gonna cancel the Quickie Mart guy.
I think he already canceled.
Yeah, I think he
already-
dropped out from them.
He dropped
I think
out.
so. Yeah, I think so. I think so. They was ahead of the game before they started. That boy said, "Nah, I heard what's going on. Now, man, I'm gonna take a dip. I'm gonna dip off before y'all get started real soon, man."
Yeah.
He's the quickie bot. Okay, I'm still.
Oh man, I love that. That boy Pooh was a G, man.
Pooh was.
Man, but y'all be safe out there. Hope y'all are stimulated.
Happy stimulus weekend. Mine ain't here yet.
Man, the
Don't
traffic
spend it all in one place.
right?
Get some of that. Save some of it for a rainy day. Don't spend it all in one place, people.
Please don't. Y'all be safe. Acting up, show.